Hey guys, it's Dave here from DM Online, DaveMenzies.com. I don't know about you, but I didn't get into starting an online business to build websites, It's definitely, obviously, part of the gig. You need to have a decent website. That's kind of like your online storefront, but actually putting them together, to be honest, I find a bit of a drag. So I just kind of want it to be done as simply and easily as possible. I want a kind of website builder, a theme that I can kind of, if I want to get something done, I can just jump in there and do it. I can just pull in the bits that I want, arrange it really quickly and simply. I want it to look really good, but I don't want that to take up an awful lot of time because it's really just the kind of resource. I always compare it to playing in a band. There's an awful lot of stuff involved in that isn't really particularly enjoyable. That actual hour and a half, whatever, if you're on stage, you're actually playing in front of an audience. That's the bit that's good. That's what you do it for. You don't do it because you enjoy lifting amplifiers around or plugging things in or hanging around for sound companies to turn up to do sound checks or then waiting for hours before you go on. That's not why you do it, but it's part of the deal. So you just accept it and you get on with it. And again, there are ways that you can make that easier. And when it comes to websites, when I started doing online business, I kind of had this assumption, like I think a lot of people do. In fact, I think it puts a lot of people off, that building websites is really difficult. It's not, to be honest. It's just a little bit on the tedious side. So you start off with you buy your domain, find somewhere to host it, and then if you're smart, you'll install WordPress as the basic content management software, if you like, because 60 million website users use it. It's kind of the best. It gives you advantages with Google for optimization, that sort of thing. There are millions and millions of themes out there that you can use. There are millions probably of developers producing apps and plugins and different themes and content for that WordPress process. So that's the kind of starting point. And WordPress itself does offer a whole load of different themes. There are free themes, which most people will start off using because you're on a budget. If you're going to be doing it yourself, you want to try and do things as inexpensively as possible to start with. And then there are paid themes. Now both are there are good and bad. The free ones are kind of okay as a starting point because, like I say, you're maybe short on cash. You just want something to get a website up there and get started with. You can go a bit further down the road than that. But there does come a point where you're going to have to look at something a bit more sophisticated, something that has a bit more functionality, is kind of easier to use. And generally speaking, you're going to pay for those. Not a lot. I mean, a fraction of what it would cost if you went out and hired a web builder to build a website for you. But for the purposes of this video, we're not going to do that. We're going to do it ourselves. So the purpose of the video is really to talk about a theme which I've found recently, which I've found is probably the best I've ever seen, and certainly the most kind of user-friendly, intuitive. You see a lot of, I bought, the first one I bought was a platform, a theme called Optimized Press, which I'm not knocking. It's brilliant. I've seen some brilliant websites done with it, but actually it's a little bit more complicated than I wanted, to be honest. It's not quite as simple as just dragging elements into place on the page and they'll be there. There's a little bit of coding involved. You kind of need to be a little bit experienced at building websites to use it. So I've got that on my kind of main website. It's okay, it's usable. I've got it on another site that I use for advertising, which doesn't have very much on it, so I don't really need to do much after having built it originally. But I've started working with another person on a website which is aimed at helping people with dementia, as both of our parents have. And we're working on the website that she had started to put together, and she is using a theme called Divi, which comes from a provider called Elegant Themes. And I'm putting together some images and doing some blog posts and so on, so obviously I have access to that website remotely. So I've been logging in and getting to use this theme a little bit, and really it has been exactly what I wish I had found a few years ago. I don't think they were actually around. I feel pretty recent. But I'm not going to do sort of demos or anything of it at the moment, but I'm going to give you a link to their demo website. where you can follow that and just have a look. They do walkthroughs, they show you all the different elements, how it works, how simple it is to use, how fast the pages actually load once they're built, which is incredibly important these days. You've only really got a couple of seconds to grab people's attention, so that's really important. But my kind of point is, if you're running an online business, you want to concentrate on creating the content, making the videos, that the actual nuts and bolts of what's inside your online store, the products and services that you promote and sell, not the shop front. Obviously that has to look good and has to work well and has to be interesting and quick, but it's really, you want people to kind of go in there and look at what you're all about, what it is you're talking about, what you sell, what you do. So to my mind, you just want to be able to do that as simply as possible, like I said earlier. And Elegant Themes, particularly their theme called Divi, definitely seems to offer that kind of plug and play with just very basic experience. If you can download images and follow links and drag things over and put things into blocks and arrange things the way you want. With this theme, the other great thing is you can actually see that all happening live as you do it. With a lot of these builders, you don't get to see that. You're kind of working a bit in the dark. You need to do an awful lot of work and then, look at a preview of it from time to time as you're going. You have to go into a different window and look at how it's progressing, and then go back and do a bit more and so on. It's just a little bit too laborious, for me anyway. But Elegant Themes seems to bypass an awful lot of that. So like I say, the link's in the description here. Maybe put a link in here somewhere or in the cards at the end, where you can click through and just have a look. If you decide to go ahead with it, if it looks like it, ticks all your boxes as it does for me, I am an affiliate for it, so I will earn a small commission if you do that, which will be gratefully received. But you can actually do a free demo. The point is that I think it's an excellent theme. You can go and have a look at it for nothing. You can look at all their sort of demos, look at all the different themes that they have, and even do a free trial before you decide if it's for you. Okay, so hope you find that useful. As always, subscribe if you want to see more from me. Leave comments, I'll get back to you. And thanks for watching. Cheers again. Bye now.